All right, hi guys. If you notice anything white on me, I just got through with some powdered sugar for another video making chocolate frosting. So if it's white on my clothes, that's what it is. So just, it's not a big deal. And that's one thing I love about my channel, 234 in La Casa, is that we keep it authentic. So I am going to, my dad bought me this huge roll of ground beef. And so what I've decided to do is split it up and make some tacos with some of it. But with the other parts of it, I'm gonna make a vegetable beef soup because it's gotten cold, it's turned cold here. And then I'm gonna make a pot of chili. So I'm gonna show you all how to make chili. It's really good, really quick, really simple. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that, and I will bring you all over in just a second and show you the ingredients that I'm gonna be using, and then bring you all over and show you all the cooking process. So if you love chili, then stay tuned for a great recipe with chili, and then I'm gonna do another video with the vegetable beef stew or soup. And like a hamburger soup is what it's going to be. So I'll do another video about that. And I think everybody knows how to make tacos, but I have no problem filming a quick video with the tacos as well. So like I said, I'll bring y'all over and look at the ingredients in just 1 second. So just stay tuned, and I hope you all are having a fabulous day. I really enjoy you guys so much. I love connecting with you all through YouTube. I know I say that all the time, but it is such a blessing. I'm so grateful for it. And so I will show you all those ingredients and get started cooking in just a second. All right, guys. Okay, so I'm going to show you the ingredients that we're going to be using for the chili. So you're going to want some dark red kidney beans. Best choice, I've never used theirs. I normally will use a Great Value. I've had, Walmart brand. That one's good. So we'll see. I didn't want to run to Walmart. It's a little bit far from my house, so I just didn't want to go. So I just got that. And then two 15-ounce or 14.5-ounce cans of crushed tomatoes. And I will say brand does make a difference. Like, Del Monte is good. Hunt's is good. Red Gold is good. I've used some off brands before, and it kind of changes the taste of the chili to me. But Great Value is good too. I've used their crushed tomatoes, but more so Hunt's and Del Monte. Those are both very good. And then we're going to use some ground cumin, about 1/3 cup of chili powder, a tablespoon or so of oregano leaves, and of course salt and pepper. It just depends on what you like. Some people like ground black pepper. Some people like white pepper instead. So it just depends on what you like. My salt's right there. And then we're also going to, I've already diced up onion, garlic, and jalapeno, and bell pepper as well. Okay, so I have my stock pot right here. I'm going to add some butter to the bottom of the pot. And I had my ground beef sitting in here. So that's, if you see something, it's from the ground beef, the blood from the ground beef. So I'm just going to add this, a little bit of butter to saute the vegetables. And I had the ground beef in there trying to separate it out for the chili and the soup that I'm going to be making. Okay. Okay, so I got that butter melting, and I'm going to toss in the vegetables. This is going to be onions and bell pepper. My bell pepper was in the freezer, so let me turn that back on. Okay, so that's all of the onion and bell pepper. And I'm going to add about half of the jalapeno. If you don't like really spicy, you can add less than that. I'm going to add about half of it. This was a whole jalapeno. I like spicy chili, so, and I'm going to reserve some of this jalapeno for my tacos that I'm going to be making. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and salt and pepper the veggies. And the salt I'm using is kosher salt. So just to let you know, it's kosher salt. So that's why it's going to look a little bit different than just regular salt. And it's even more, you know, it's more salty than just regular salt as well. So you don't have to use quite as much of it as you would like just Morton salt or something like that. You don't have to use as much. Let me put some pepper in here too. And I'm going to use the white pepper. And you don't have to use as much of that either. It's more pungent than black pepper. Okay. So I'm going to saute these veggies for about maybe 3 to 5 minutes. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. Saute these for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then I will take these vegetables. I'll put them in a bowl, take them off the stove, and then add in the ground beef and brown that for the chili. Okay, so I have added the ground beef, and you're going to add about 2.5 pounds of ground beef. I'm using 80-20. Normally for burgers, I'll use 70-30. But for chili, sometimes I'll even use 90-10. But this is 80-20. It's what my dad brought to me, so I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it. It was free, so I'm going to use it. And so I'm going to go ahead and brown this, and you want to break it apart, brown it enough till it starts kind of, you know, changing to brown, but you don't want it to brown it all the way like you would for like spaghetti or something. You want to leave some pink in it. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and toss a little salt and pepper in here. And I think I'm going to use black pepper for the meat instead of the white pepper. And see, you know, I did another video of some ground beef, and I was like, I don't have a meat masher, but you see why? I mean, you just can fork it, and it's like a meat masher. So I don't know if that's just a way for people to spend money and buy stuff, but I think that that's what that is. Well, we all know that, though, don't we? Okay, yeah, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and drain the fat and the liquid off. And so I'm going to drain this. I've got my pot over here, just some clean water. I'm going to add beef base to it because we're going to need 2 cups of beef broth. And this is beef base. I think I've showed you all this before. I hope y'all can see it. But that's the beef base. And I'm going to put about 2 teaspoons of beef base in that water to go ahead and get that going. To put in the chili because I'm going to need that beef broth. But if you don't have to use beef base, I just choose to use it. If you want to use beef broth instead, that's fine. I think all you're going to need is 2 cups of beef broth for the chili. Okay, and I think this may be a little over 2 cups, but of course, you know, some of it'll boil off. But anyway, so all right, so I've got that going. I'm going to put my beef base back in the fridge. And I'm going to look at that meat one more time and see if I want to drain some more off or not. Check it and see. Yeah, I'm going to drain just a little bit more off of this, off the ground beef. Okay, so I'm going to take the lid off of the meat. I'm going to fork it through just to check it. And it kind of just steamed and cooked there because I had the lid on and I had to start my dishwater. And I'm going to go ahead and add my vegetables to this. You can still see some pink in there, and that's fine. That's exactly what you're going to want. Is to still be able to see some pink. I wish I could see a little bit more. I wish I could see more pink, but okay. So there are cooked veggies, seasoned and everything. And so then there we go. And so to this we're going to go ahead and add in about 1/3 cup of chili powder. And you're going to turn your meat on at this point as well, because we're going to stir all of these ingredients in. And I'm totally out of chili powder now, so I have a little bit less than 1/3 cup. Hold on. Here. Okay, so I've added a little under 1/3 cup of chili powder, and then I'm going to add about a tablespoon of oregano. It's about a tablespoon. And you're supposed to add about a tablespoon of cumin, and that's my beef broth. It's boiling, and so I'm gonna turn it down. But I don't like a lot of cumin. I don't like the taste. It has kind of a citrusy flavor to me, like a lemony, citrusy flavor. So I don't add a whole lot of cumin. So I'm just gonna add like maybe like 1/2 teaspoon, or maybe even like 1/4 teaspoon. Because I don't care for it. I understand why it's needed, and so, but I don't need a lot of it. But I understand why they ask for it, or why, you know, why it's needed in there. Because without it, it doesn't taste the same. And then that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and stir these ingredients together. My daughter's going to the store for me. I'm sure she's like, please stop with please stop sending me these additions to the list. It's only like 3 things. Okay, and so then and 2, if you like a lot of heat and the jalapeno is not gonna do it for you, you can add crushed red pepper as well if you like to do that, to add some more heat to your chili. It smells really good. I'm gonna add just a little bit of salt, and I try not to add too much, and kind of taste it at the end to see what it's tasting like. Okay, so I've got that all stirred together. And I'm gonna add just a little bit more cumin. I think I went a little bit too light on it, so I'm gonna add just a little bit more cumin. And the oregano, I think, is 1.5 tablespoons, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm gonna add a little bit more oregano too. Okay. And I'm doing this off of memory. Oh, I forgot that's what I was like, I know it's some garlic supposed to be added. I'm doing this off of memory because I make chili a lot in the wintertime. I'm gonna go ahead and add the garlic as well. And I hope I'm not leaving anything out. I don't think I am, but I will check and make sure that I'm not. I kind of have this memorized. I have this memorized and chocolate chip cookie recipe memorized. I do that from memory as well. Okay. All right. And so it's ideal to let this kind of cook together for about 5 minutes or so, constantly stirring. And then after that, we'll start adding our wet ingredients. And at this point, you can go ahead and open your beans and go ahead and strain those. I put those in a strainer. I pour them into a strainer and then rinse them with cold water, just to get all that thick liquid that they sit in that can off. So I'm going to do that off camera, but I will go ahead and add this beef broth. And I'm going to turn my eye off and add the beef broth, because that's dissolved, so you can see where the that beef base is gone, dissolved into the water. Okay. Ooh, that smells so good. Oh my gosh, that smells wonderful. Okay, and then I'm going to add the crushed tomatoes as well. And I will add them, and then I will like kind of turn my faucet on a light trickle and rinse, like get all of the tomato sauce off the sides of the can and all that, to use that as well, because I don't want anything to go unused. And so it will normally equate up to about half a can of water that, once I was just wiping my can top off, but once I've gone over to the sink and had that trickling water with the can of tomato. I do that all the time, not just with chili, but anytime I have a can of tomato, anything, I always make sure I get all of the tomato out of the can. And I'm telling you that this stuff comes from my Depression era father, who nothing goes to waste. But you can see where I got all the tomato off of the can. All right, so I'm going to add that can too, and then I'm going to go put some water in it. Okay. And so that's it. All I have to do is add the beans at this point. Okay, so the chili's going. I have rinsed the beans, and I prefer dark red kidney beans. That's just my preference. But of course you can, use whatever kind of bean that you would like to. And so now we're going to let this boil for about it needs to come to a boil, and then we're going to let it boil for 5 minutes straight, and then we will turn it down to medium to simmer, like medium low to simmer for about an hour. Okay, I will leave the lid like half on, half off, just because it's tomato based and it will pop, and I don't want to have to clean up tomato stains, you know what I mean, like all night long or whenever I'm making it. So that's what I prefer to do, because when it's simmering, it still, it still has the potential to kind of pop and get all over your stove or whatever. So that's what I do, but it does suggest lid off. But like I said, I don't do that. Okay. And it smells so good. Even at this point, it's, it smells like chili. But of course you would want it to, right? But there it is. It smells really, really, really good. And you can even add 2 cans of beans. My kids don't like a lot of beans. They do eat chili, all of them, not all of them. Most, a couple of them do. But I don't put a lot of beans in them in my chili, because they're kids and they're not into it. So I just put 1 can in. But you're welcome to put 2 cans or however many cans you want to, light, red, brown, whatever. But we just do 1 can. Okay, so this is coming to a boil, and I'm going to let that boil. And when it's doing the boiling, I also put the lid on there about halfway, because it's going to pop, or whatever you call it. And so I don't want that all over the stove. So, okay, here we go. I'm going to put it like right there, and let this, put a timer on for 5 minutes. And then I'll bring you all back so you can see what it looks like. Okay, guys, so it's boiling. The 5 minutes is up. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it down. And it's 8 o'clock Central Standard Time here. So I will be removing, checking this in an hour. So at 9 p.m. And so I'll bring you all back at that time. But you can see what it looks like. And so I'm going to put the lid a little bit over, just a little bit more than what it was during that boiling process, since it's being, since I've turned it down. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to turn it down onto like medium low and allow it to boil for the next hour. Okay. And so then I will bring y'all back once that's done. Okay, guys, so it has been an hour. And so let me stir this so you all can see. And actually it's been a little over an hour. So, and I will say this, I had to run an errand, and so I have not been here to stir this chili. So that is my fault. Normally you're supposed to stir it periodically throughout, maybe, every 20 minutes or so to come in and stir it. And I normally do, but I had to run out for an errand. But that's the chili right there. And I'll put some in a bowl for y'all and taste it, so and so you all can see it and everything. And what I normally will do too, I will you know, have grilled cheese with this. I'll have Ritz crackers. I'll have saltine crackers. But I also will purchase some firecrackers. And there is a local place here that makes wonderful firecrackers. I know how to make them too. But sometimes I don't feel like making them. And so I will run over to this place that's local and buy some. And so I'll put their information in the description box for people who are local here where I am, to be able to run over there and get you a container of firecrackers. They're really, really good, and they're excellent with the chili. Okay, so I'm going to plate this up so you all can see it, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so this is the chili. I've got some of it. It tastes really good. I think I'm going to maybe add a little bit of salt to it, but let me taste it again and make sure. It's good. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt to it. And if I left any ingredients out, I don't think I did. Maybe garlic powder, I'm not sure, but I don't think I did. But if I did, I will put it in the description box below. But that is good. It really is. And normally it tastes even better the next day. You know how like spaghetti sauce and stuff like that is better the next day? The same thing with this chili. It's better the next day. But of course, we still eat it the same night. This is excellent. All right, and so it's like it's supposed to be cold here this week. So this is a perfect dish for you know, for the cold weather. And so I will see you all back. I'm gonna do I did my taco meat too. I mean, all you do is you just brown it. You just brown some ground beef. I put some of the jalapeno in there. I just sprinkled just a little bit in there. And I'll tell you, I use the my favorite taco seasoning. This is just my opinion. This is the best. And I get the hot and spicy or the original. I don't get the mild. This is the best taco seasoning. But I just put a packet of that in there, and then I'll take the packet and put water in it, you know, to get all the seasoning out. Like I said, my dad, Depression era, you know. And so then I'll pour it in there, and it's good to go. This is the best taco seasoning. And I'm going to tell you something else, because I know I talked about my dad earlier, you know, about him in the Depression. And I'm going to tell you more stories about how he tells us how to save. But this man, when you get a pizza or whatever, and there's the crushed red pepper packets, he tells us, open those packets up and pour them into your crushed red pepper container, your seasoning container. That is how, get the grated cheese packets and pour them into your grated cheese container. Don't let anything go to waste. So that's my dad, Depression era, nothing goes to waste. So anyway, but yeah, so that's my favorite taco seasoning. I've got the taco meat here, and then I'm gonna do the hamburger vegetable soup. I'll film that tomorrow and hopefully get it posted tomorrow, and hopefully I'll get this chili video posted tonight. Okay, all right guys, well, I've enjoyed you guys, and I will see you all back here tomorrow. All right, have a good evening.